G'day folks, Pat Curley from LearnCigarBoxGuitar.com with another video song lesson. This one's a request from a subscriber who's asked for the old Marty Robbins tune, Singing the Blues, old popular song from the 50s. It's got a real straight ahead picking pattern to it, and it's just the 3 chords, so it's a great one for early on, especially if you like these old sort of style of tunes. The picking pattern, we'll start with the picking pattern for now, is really straightforward to learn, to teach anyway. It's really easy. It's not so hard, not so easy to play when you get into it, but we'll talk about that in a minute. But it's just like this. It's sort of thumb, chuck, boom, chuck, boom, chuck, boom, chuck. So it's thumb, and then pick with your fingers on the middle 2 strings, and after you pick, you mute with your left hand. That's a really important skill to have if you don't have that already, so this is a good song to practice that on. So it's boom, chuck. So immediately after you've played that note there, you stop it. So it kind of sounds like a snare drum, that little sharp little attack. Yeah? When you're doing that with your slide, you can't do it the same as that. So you sort of play it and then lift your slide off really carefully, but leave your fingers in behind. So it's the same idea, but now your fingers behind are doing it. You only have to lift it off a little bit. Like that. So that'll take a bit of practice. If you don't do that and it's just, it's not the end of the world, is it? But if you want to get that really sort of muted sort of sound with your slide, that's how you do it. Okay, so that's your right hand. Sometimes with your right hand, if you want, you can play it like this. So it's every alternate thumb beat. So 1, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 is on the middle string. And when you do that, you're going thumb and then the same as you did before. Pick and mute, thumb, like that. Yeah? Okay, that's your picking pattern. The chords are the open, 5th fret and 7th fret. That's the 1, the 4 and the 5. I'm in the key of G, so it's G, D, G I'm tuned to, and the melody note, if you want to sing it, and you do want to sing it, starts on that 5 note there. Never felt more like singing the blues, that I never thought that I'd ever lose your love, dear. Well, why'd you treat me this way? Yeah, like that. So let's have a look at that. It's just 1 bar on the open, 1 bar on the 4 chord on the 5th fret to open it. And then after that, it goes 1 bar and then half a bar each on the 5th fret and then the 7th fret, the C and the D chords. So, oops, missed that. Pardon me. I never felt more like singing the blues, and I never thought that I'd ever lose your love, dear. And then again, why'd you treat me this way? And again. Yeah, so first time it's just 1 bar there, 1 bar there. And then for the next 3 times you do it, it's 1 bar there and half each. Yeah, right. That's for nearly all the verses. There's one verse, I can't remember the lyric for it. I don't know this song, I can't remember the lyric. But there's one verse later on, just before the bridge, where you do it slightly differently. So remember the pattern again. It's, and then for the rest of it, is that. Now, on this rogue verse, we'll call it, the one just before the bridge, the very last chord is different. Instead of going, you go, yeah? So I'll just sing the only lyric I can remember to that. I never felt more like crying all night, 'cause everything's wrong, nothing is right without you. Why'd you treat me this way? And then to there. Right? Now the reason that you do that is because then when you come into the bridge, you start here on this 5th fret 4 chord. The moon and stars no longer shine. The blah, blah, blah I thought was mine. There's nothing left for me to do but cry over you. I never felt more like crying all night. Like that, yeah? So that bridge again, there's a lot of repetition. 4 chord for a bar and then open for a bar. And then stop, and then the old familiar, over you. 5th fret up to the 7th fret, 4 chord up to the 5 chord. And then we're back into the song again. Yeah? So, that's the tune. Really basic chord structure in the verse, another really basic chord structure in the bridge, and a very common change just before the bridge, where instead of playing that note, that chord on the 7th fret, you play the chord on the open chord. Now, if you'll just excuse me for a second, I'll explain why that happens, all right? All right? Just humour me, all right, please. So, that chord there on the 7th fret, the 5 chord, naturally goes back to the 1. But the bridge doesn't start on the 1, it starts there on the 4. So to go to the back and then start the bridge there would just be wrong. Right? So instead of going to the 5, you just resolve back to the open chord just before the bridge. So if you remember that that's why you do it, you're more likely to actually remember to do it. Yeah? You play that 5 chord because it works to go back to the 1 at the start of the verse. It doesn't work to go back to the 4 at the start of the bridge. Yeah. And then there's that boom chick, right? Now you don't have to play it with that boom chick. You can swing it. This is a great song to swing. So. I never felt more like I'm crying all night, 'cause everything's wrong, nothing is right without you. Why'd you treat me this way? So when you get to the end, if you've got my course, when you get to the end of the the basic 3-string course, there's lessons on different sort of grooves. Swing is in there. It's a really important one. So have a look at that swing lesson. And of course you could probably play it as a reggae tune, whatever you wanted to, you know, but it sounds good as a swing thing as well. Singing the Blues, Marty Robbins, thanks again for that request. Hopefully that'll get you going there on that song. Give us a yell if you need a hand. Cheers.